World Bees Day. That's what it is for today. Okay, so it's good to also let you in as to what's going on in that regard, right? And what can we say? Today we'll be looking at something that borders around, the fact that SERAP sued governors over, the FAAC, right? The FAAC allocations right there. But then beyond that, there has also been a win-win. Nigerians are talking about this win. I mean, it's talking about the withdrawal of the cyber security, right? The cyber security levy, that withdrawal, right? It's really putting smiles on the faces of Nigerians as Nigerians have criticized, the controversial cybersecurity levy, and we demanded its immediate suspension. And even though there is a coalition group known as the Nigeria First Project, NFPro, said the cybersecurity levy is not meant to punish Nigerians and it has substantial benefits, Nigerians have reacted to the 0.5% cybersecurity levy, saying no. And even the Social Economic Rights Accountability Project that's talking about SERAP had also given the federal government 48 hours ultimatum to reverse the CBN 0.5%, right? And that levy imposed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and even the reps had directed the CBN to suspend the cybersecurity levy. So the House of Representatives, yay to you, kudos to you right there for having to listen to us too and doing the needful. And there was a circular indeed that has come out, what I call de-escalate or to override. Override would be the best way to put it. Override the earlier circular as put out there by the CBN. So this would be some success for each and every one of us, because we were unrelentless. In making it loudly and clearly. Now, given the fact that yes, it may have some good intention, right? But the overall, forbearance of that particular levy would have not been very nice, was not feeling good on our skin, my skin inclusive, right? So everybody would have felt the brunt of that should it go through. But then we have our guest in the person of Mr. Adefolari Olamilekon. He's an economist, he's a political economist, he's a lead research and policy analyst. Mr. Olamilekon, welcome to Eagles Outlook this morning.
Good morning, and good morning to all our listeners out there. Thanks for having me once again.
Exactly. Just before I pulled you through, put you on, I was already talking about Nigerians celebrating the cyber security levy withdrawal by the CBN, and just before we get into the discourse, ASAP, what are your thoughts about the circular from the CBN?
I think it has demonstrated that the current government is taking a cue by listening to opinions of Nigeria,
right.
Particularly opinions that suggest that a particular government policy is anti-people and it is anti-progress for the Nigerian people. So it's a good one that the CBN have also listened to the president by bringing out a circular. We have had it whereby the president will say something or give a directive to a particular government agency, and that government agency will never act on that particular direction. But for the CBN under Cardoso and taking a listen to what the president has said, and this has shown that there is a collaboration within the presidency and all its agencies as well as institutions like the CBN and the president.
Right.
It's a good one. We really appreciate that.
Right. Well, let's jump into the matter at hand, right? SERAP is at it again. If you also recall that SERAP had also, given a 48-hour ultimatum, for the reversal, of the CBN 0.5% that's talking about the cybersecurity levy. But SERAP is coming from another dimension this time, and they're suing governors over FAAC allocations, right? Talking about the fact that the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, suing governors of the 36 states of Nigeria, and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, talking about Nyesom Wike, for failing to account for the spending of trillions of Federation Account Allocation Committee allocations collected by the states and the FCT since 1999. SERAP is seeking a court order to direct and compel the governors and Wike to publish spending details of the FAAC allocations, including the list and locations of projects executed with the monies. Now, the Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare had stated that the lawsuit follows reports of the FAAC disbursing 1.123 trillion naira to federal, state, and local governments, in March of 2024, and 1.208 trillion naira in April. So, the organization is only seeking transparency and accountability in the spending of FAAC allocations, which have allegedly been mismanaged, diverted, or even spent on other purposes such as election campaigns, right? As we already seen that elections, there are plans towards the 2027 general elections, and even political patronage. And SERAP is arguing that Nigerians have the right to know how public funds are spent, and that transparency would allow them to retain, some control over their government. Well, we all know that FAAC stands for Federal Account Allocation Committee. Just in case you didn't know, listening to me now, you already know, and it was established in 1999. The purpose was to ensure the fair and equitable distribution of revenue among the three tiers of government in Nigeria: federal, state, and local. And the committee is responsible for the allocating of revenue from the federation accounts to the federal, state, and local government, in Nigeria. But let me give you, Mr. Adefolari, just a little bit of rundown in terms of FAAC allocations, right, since 1999. So, under the President Olusegun Obasanjo, that's talking about 1999 to 2007, the FAAC was established, distribution of revenue among the three tiers of government in Nigeria. That's talking about federal, state, and local. But under President Umar Yar'Adua, that's in 2008, FAAC allocated 2.2 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. Under the president, the administration of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan of 2010 to 15, in 2012, the FAAC allocated 8.5 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. In 2013, the FAAC allocated 9.7 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. Now, under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, I beg your pardon, there's been quite a number of FAAC allocations, and to the tune of great, large, immense number. I mean, numbers that should cause or call for a demand of how these allocations have been spent. So I'll take you to 2016, where the FAAC allocation was 6.3 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. In 2017, 7.8 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. In 2018, FAAC allocation was 8.2 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. 2019 saw 9.1 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. In 2020, the FAAC allocation was a whopping 10.8 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. In 2021, FAAC allocation 12.6 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. And in 2022, still under the Buhari administration, the FAAC allocation was 18.1 trillion naira to the three tiers of government. However, when we fast forward to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, you would notice that in March of 2024, FAAC disbursed 1.12 trillion naira to federal, state, and local governments. In April of 2024, FAAC also disbursed 1.208 trillion naira to federal, state, and local government, and states collected about 398.689 billion naira in March and 403.403 billion naira in April. Now, these allocations are supposedly meant to fund critical public goods and services. But Mr. Adefolari, as many Nigerians are also, very inquisitive, joining SERAP, in their inquisitiveness to knowing how these funds are being spent. Some of these services should include, medicals. It should include education, infrastructure, and security. As many believe that if these allocations were indeed put in its rightful domain to satisfy the purposes for which they were allocated in the first place, that we should have gone a long way in terms of our economy, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of education. Just recently, you saw what happened with the education sector, where ASU had threatened to go on strike over the non-convenient, the disbandment of governing councils, which they said should, be reinstituted. Good thing the federal government had listened and they had reconvened or put together, a governing council. But I mean, all of these, it is believed that if we had put these monies into where they ought to be, into the pockets that they ought to be, into the projects that they were meant to look to, we shouldn't be where we are today. For you, putting all these figures together, what comes to mind?
Very interesting and very popular figures, and quite very, very intelligent for SERAP to have come up with some of these figures. Although some of us have some of the figures with us, which we normally use when we are doing analysis, when we are doing our research work on accountability and transparency.
Okay.
Resources, we all have that. But what? I think to be able to break this down so that Nigerians can quickly understand what SERAP is doing. SERAP is trying as much as possible to create an awareness that what has left us in a period of underdevelopment at the subnational level, at the local government level. Or is it subnational level or local government? We are talking about the states and the local government. Because most Nigerians have so much concentrate on federal government, but they have missed the point. They have missed the reality of who's supposed to even engineer development from the rural to the urban center, to the semi-urban centers, to the main centers of cities. It is the state governors and the local government. But also of nonchalant attitude and very detestable activities of governors at the state level, they have made a rot of, or a fraud of the system that we practice. And this has to do with the kind of practice of our constitution that has given us the opportunity to have a federal system that gives opportunity for state government and local government to operate. But here we are, a chunk of resources collected at the federal level, distributed to the state and local government, but we cannot give account of what that money has been used for.
Right.
And that's why I found ourselves the level that we have to do. And another aspect of objective of the SERAP bringing this up was that to be able to open Nigerians' eyes to the level that it is not federal government that is responsible for some of the challenges that we are finding in Nigeria. State governors and local government are culpable, and they are the number one culpable in some of the problem of development in Nigeria. Talk about roads, talk about health, talk about education, talk about infrastructure, talk about water, talk about electricity. The governors supposed to attend to some of these developmental needs, but they have left it undone. Since 1999, billions upon billions upon billions upon billions have been dedicated for this, but it has not been used or utilized to achieve the goals of development in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now, let's not take a mix of this particular issue. The mix is this. Now, if you understand how physical policy is being practiced at the state level, because it is all about physical responsibility of state governors and local government, it has been bastardized. I hope you're getting me.
Yeah.
Now, we have an act, the 2007 Physical Responsibility Act, that's supposed to guide how state governors utilize the resources, particularly money coming from the federal government in terms of federal allocation, and money they generated. But you know that they normally flout this law. They don't obey the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2009. They don't obey it. I was in a forum recently, and I think right now they are about to review that law. The National Assembly is about to review that Fiscal Responsibility Act. So that Fiscal Responsibility Commission will not just be a backing dog alone. It can also act. You know that what SERAP have just done now is what Fiscal Responsibility Commission is supposed to be doing. Calling state governors to action.
What they are. You mentioned something. What SERAP is doing is what who is supposed to be doing?
Fiscal Responsibility Commission.
Oh, okay.
You must have heard about that agency.
Yes,
it is an act that established. The office is at Asokoro, but they are just sitting down.
Doesn't it worry you? That's the point. Doesn't it worry you that we have all of these agencies that are supposed to checkmate or be like checks to some other agencies or maybe the governors and all of that, but they're somewhat redundant and not active in any ways. Doesn't it worry you?
I'm worried because I'm a fiscal responsibility expert. I also discuss issue of fiscal responsibility. So, one thing, see, the issue is that the act that established that agency or that commission has already given him the power to publish on monthly. See, when fiscal FAAC publish what they are sharing, NBS will also publish it. Do you know that fiscal responsibility doesn't publish it?
Right, we've not seen a lot. We've not seen a lot from them.
They don't do it. And they will be claiming there is no money, and they have money. But the issue is that because that office has also been politicized,
right?
That office is supposed to be working as a watchdog on what governors are spending. Every cover they are spending, but they are not doing anything. I just hope anybody working in that agency or the current chairman or acting chairman of that agency is listening to us on this program. This guy is the only commission supposed to wake up from their slumber. This responsibility that SERAP took up by charging state governors to court is what they're supposed to do. They may not necessarily charge them to court, but they will call them to order. They will publish what a particular state governors have earned and what they're supposed to use the money for, or what they have used the money for. They're supposed to publish and let Nigerians know. But it's on those sides. They're not doing anything. Now, SERAP have opened our eyes to it that this is what they're supposed to be doing. It is not when the money has been squandered, when the money has been looted, then ICPC will not be chasing somebody. ESP will not be chasing somebody. But right now, it's supposed to have started with machinery process or whereby government giving detailed accountability on what has been given. Now, in the month of March, the April that just left, they have shared over close to 400 billion for the state government. But here we are. Fiscal responsibility doesn't even have a document to show or a figure to show that such money has been.
In fact, just before you go ahead, Mr. Defari, let me also, give some education. Well, the Fiscal Responsibility Commission in Nigeria is established by the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, and it is meant to ensure the implementation of its provisions. And the key functions of this, include monitoring and enforcement, right? Disseminating standard practices, fiscal and financial studies. They undertake fiscal and financial studies analysis, and they do some diagnosis and disseminate the results to the general public. They make rules, right, for carrying out functions under the Act. They even perform other functions consistent with the promotion of objectives of the Act. They do promoting transparency and accountability. That is basically what they do. They promote a transparent and accountable government financial management framework to Nigeria, and they have oversight responsibilities. I guess that's where you are also coming from, where they perform key oversight responsibilities that border around, or that relates to macroeconomy, environment of the country, which also helps to aid the work of legislative oversight over the entire public finance architecture of the country and the economy in general. Oh my goodness, this is a lot that they are poised to do. In fact, under Section 16 of the Constitution, they are to monitor and enforce the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act and promote the economic objectives contained. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. That's a lot, and to think
that commission have been keeping, he is not doing anything at all. Either on the federal government, I as I earlier pointed out, focus on state governors, tell us what those state governors are doing. Then, including each government agency, there are over 1,350 federal government agencies. What are the money that have been budgeted for these agencies? What are they using that money for? This guys commission is supposed to be giving us detailed analysis of what that money has been used for. They are not even doing that at all. They are just there. And if you want to go to the office or you want to go and see protocol of protocol,
exactly.
I get frustrated, when I go to them to that office and maybe want to do one or two or find out one, they don't even. I think they don't care. You get it. So
they are under the government's payroll.
They have. But every government agency is under government payroll. But the issue still remains that they are not doing their job as expected. That's what we are pointing out. So SERAP, an NGO, is not doing their work for them. It is bad.
All right,
bad for the system.
Yeah,
it's bad for governance.
Let's put a bread peg to your thoughts right there. We will open the phone lines. Right, I'll just open the phone lines now, and then we'll go pay some bills. When we come back, of course, it will be you letting us in to your thoughts about SERAP suing governors over FAAC allocation right there. And yes, our guest will also be on ground to add his voice to the discourse. Well, let's give you the numbers. 0907-353-0044 is that number to call. The other number is 0908-766-8888, and the WhatsApp portal number is 0909-705-4450. How can we get some of these agencies who have been saddled or which have been saddled with a responsibility backing from the Constitution to doing their jobs, and of course bringing about accountability as to how our monies are being spent, right? This is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
My people, the thing where they happen for my area,
Do you think I will now find out that you have contract to bring fresh girls?
I brought you from the gutters. Who gave you all the connects? MDG who? Without me, you would have been nobody. But
Join Media Coalition and Awareness to Halt Human Trafficking, MICAT, on I Wish I Knew radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. Let us join hands and kick human trafficking out of our communities. I Wish I Knew radio drama, brought to you by MICAT in partnership with the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NATIP, and funded by the Embassy of Denmark in Nigeria.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Please listen to this announcement. Breath King Homes and Properties Limited announces a 40% discount on Bismuth City, Kurudu. 180 square meters for a 2-bedroom terrace duplex, now selling for 1.8 million naira. 350 square meters for a 3-bedroom terrace duplex, now selling for 3.5 million naira.
It is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, and yes, we give you an audiovisual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. And we are still looking at the topical issue that bothers around the fact that SERAP, which happens to be the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, have sued the 36 governors of Nigeria and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, for failing to account for the spending of trillions of Federation Account Allocation Committee. That's talking about FAAC allocations right there, collected by their states and the FCT, dating back from 1999 up until date. And Nigerians are beginning to ask the questions: who indeed should we hold to, accountable in such scenarios? And if we are talking about working towards building a stronger Nigeria where there should be trust, but also a systemic approach. However, if all the systemic approach seems to be failing, what then should be the lot of each and every one of us in addressing these issues and spotlighting and bringing to the fore some of the hidden nuances that we have not really taken into consideration? Would be our guest, who's in the person, Mr. Adefolarin Olamilekon, who is a political economist and a lead researcher and policy analyst. You can as well send in your calls right there, sending your messages to the WhatsApp portal number 0909 0705-4450, or you can call the studio line 0907-353-0044. I've got a call that's taken. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning to you.
Elder Naja is my name.
Elder, welcome aboard.
Good morning. You know, this corrupt country ruled by corrupt men. Honest person in that country is a great enemy. We are talking about us right from local government to state government. Yes, we are corrupt. If the federal government where is at head, it is not corrupt. Nobody will corrupt.
Right.
See, the politicians are the great problem to this country, my brother. Let us be sincere to ourselves. During ministry administration, the governor of the state takes ministry salary, and then before you do any project in the state, the ministry council will approve it, and then they will monitor that program. So where we are the power, the politician came back. You see, a politician have led this country to war before, and then we gather ourselves, bring the country together for them. And the way we are controlling the country, the love in this country, education is there, health is there, everything, we put it on the ground. Both the National Assembly where they are using now will do this, both the dealer will do this. All the roads where you see in Abuja here will do this. But politicians, they come themselves, turning themselves in the deco. Then the suburbs in the government, give me the government. Tinubu was a representative from Medeco in America. He blocked many things until we need power and give the government to them. Look the way politicians lead the country to now. I told you this morning I buy a kit milk. The kit milk 800 naira, and then we need kit milk with the government, with the interest this Abdallah. We leave the government waiting with 70 naira to kit milk. Now it's 800 naira. A Martina where I bought this money is 500 naira.
Right.
We can't discuss into the problem.
All right, Elder.
The politicians are the great problem to this country.
All right, Elder Onaja. Thank you. All right, Elder Onaja right there, decrying the state of affairs, saying that, look, so the CP of police, Adejobi, recently was asked, if he had ever collected bribe, and he said, as a prince, that he has never collected bribe. Never, he said. Can we have people who would come up and make such statements and say that I have never collected bribes before? Yeah, or I've never spent the Nigerian money, the collective monies of the Nigerian people, and wasted it, on some frivolous activity.
28 million naira. The first two buyers of the 3-bedroom duplex will get it at 33 million naira. For Life Camp, the ongoing project is still available and many subscribers are moving into the estate. 3-bedroom terrace duplex at 43 million naira and 4-bedroom terrace duplex at 52 million naira. Covered by NHF and rent-to-own scheme. They also offer 6 to 12 months flexible payment plans. For more information, contact Luxler Construction Limited at 070-5758-2753. That is 070-5758-2753. Secure your dream house now.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
All right, and yes, we are back like we never left. It is still the Eagles Outlook right here on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. 41 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side, and you have found Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. We're still talking SERAP suing 36 states governors, including the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Nyesom Wike, over the FAAC allocations right there. And we're still seeing your calls. Mr. Adefolarin, are you there?
Yeah,
okay. So I would like us to take, a couple of calls, and then, of course, we'll get your reaction. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good done.
Yes, good morning to you. I'm fine, thank you. BB.
Well done.
Yes.
This one, you just dey run this program like the same, and like you just dey give us this morning. I greet our guests.
Right.
And I greet all the caller this morning.
Mm.
And what we are betting our voice out for this lady. Now, project we don't dey see what they do for us now. Lot of the people wey dey there before years to wicked, the money wey they award for these people. Can we ask them, make they come give us? If Obasanjo can tell me, say, okay, no be go do road for us. Wetin do light wey no go give the people? Wetin do school wey no go give us school? Remember now, abroad now, they go there, they see what is happen. So
Okay.
when they come,
Yeah.
they do a lot
Well,
of people.
very
now
well.
we are still talking about the election where they come now.
Yes.
So when we hold them accountable, we hold these people accountable. We hold them.
Question, good question.
This man now for Kogi, he
Yeah.
don't run away. We never hear for one day again. That one now, it's a get now where we never hear again. We only the big story come, but when we talk, nobody can listen for us. God bless you.
Thank you. I tell you the truth. Who do we hold responsible for this? And if there are agencies that should indeed do their jobs, what can we do to get them to working? Well, this is part of it. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes, good morning to you. Alamin, welcome aboard.
Alamin from Central Area.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
The prices, inflation will continue to go up. In fact, I hate to be, proponent of bad news, but you might even end up buying that much for 1,000 naira. As long as you continue to focus on Tinubu. When your borehole gets spoiled in the village, in my village in Ayeteju, because I'm in Abuja, I start lamenting the president is this, the federal government. How many of our callers and listeners of Eagle FM station, call and ever talk about their state? So the governors, we have been enabler, provoking the government to become emperors. When you have malaria fever, you're supposed to go to a cottage hospital, by local government. Mind you, their location is going on a monthly basis. Akwa Ibom State built a state-owned church for 32 billion. Akwa Ibom is one of the poorest states in the south, our top 10 poorest in the country. And that produces, they have one of the largest unemployment rates in the country. But people from Akwa Ibom will still be calling and be criticizing Tinubu. The same with Bayelsa. Bayelsa are not producing, they will less than 2 little over 2 million population. It's second poorest state in the country. But the Tinubu is the problem of the country. We are not serious. Let us continue blaming Tinubu. Let inflation continue to rise. Let us continue to excuse the shenanigans of calling and criticizing the federal government. We should also be interested in what is happening at the state and the local government, because that is where 75% of our population resides. Not in Abuja.
Okay, thank you. All right, Alamin, right there. Well, let's get back to you, Mr. Adefolarin. You've heard what the family members are saying right there. What do you make of this?
I think we have been able to create on Eagles FM 102.3. We have been able to create an awareness that now the responsibility of playing game will just be on federal government.
Right.
Focus on the state governors. When we point an accusing finger on the federal government, one of our fingers on the federal government, then the rest finger is on the state government. So what it means that our experts have pressure to be on the state, just like SERAP has already to up investment, because we have discovered that it has been happening right from time. So what we are saying right now, what Nigerians who have called on the show, or some of them that have not had the opportunity to call, who may send messages, or who may be listening to us, have understood right now that the blame on the issue of inflation, just like the other caller talk, it's just that we don't have time to begin to dissect inflation.
Right.
Some of the issues, some of the factors leading to inflation are caused directly from the state level. We know that monetary policy from federal government, monetary policy, but the state also have responsibility on physical policy themselves, who they are not addressing. So, for instance, the issue about roads that lead to farm settlements or roads that lead to market. Who's supposed to be building that? Is it the federal
and accountability when it comes to the spendings of allocations accrued to them?
Definitely, we will do that. We will have that. Let me give you a simplicity of how local government is run, development climate. Although we have different types of local government.
Right.
But the one we practice in Nigeria is the presidential system of local government, which means that it's an executive form of local government where you have the chairman, all the councillors, as well as supervisory council. Now, councillors are the legislature. They legislate, they make laws for the local government. The supervisory council are appointees. They are like commissioner or minister that we have at the national level. So it's supposed to administer local government. Now, the revenue that is coming from the local government is supposed to serve the purpose of development for the local government. But because of the jealousy of state government, because of the interest of state government, they bastardized that system, and they made it worse. They said that they control the local government and they appoint whoever they want to appoint into the local government system, as chairman or supervisory council or whatever. And that's what has spoiled the show. Now, there can